has chosen the storyline spread for your general monthly reading, which is a scattershot across the entire sign, telling 3, 4, or even 5 different stories for people going through different scenarios this month. The stories can be about any topic, so the floor is wide open. People say that often multiple stories do and will resonate with them, but the main goal of the storyline spread is to find that one story that is all about you. And that is what we're gonna do today. Welcome in, guys. So good to have you here. My name is Scott Sagent, and I am ready for your July 2024 Psychic Tarot reading. First order of business, let's get those cards on the screen for you so you can take a look as I explain this different format this month. As you notice, I'm not here in person. I am in an audio reading because I had a little bit of an eye injury. Don't worry, I'm just fine. However, I'm not so hot to look at right now. So we're going to do this a little bit differently this month. It's going to be a little interactive, different vibe, different feel to it. Some of you might really enjoy it, I think, because you're getting the point of view from my side of the table and going card by card. I might even throw in some graphics to illustrate certain points as we go. And don't worry if you don't see the cards that well. I know the screens, sometimes we watch these videos on small screens, our phones. Maybe you don't see the cards clearly. I'm going to make this in a way so that even if you're just listening to me, it'll make sense to you. So let's get started with your reading right now. All right, here we go. It is Sagittarius time, and you guys are right up against the bell. You guys are my last sign that I am reading. Spirit decided to do that by design. I think they wanted to use the maximum amount of time to get the best read possible for you. Obviously, they're having a hard time. A lot of Sagittarius is going in different directions in the month of July. Probably very challenging for them to put together a general reading this month. But we, as you can see, we have a lot of things to talk about. We have a table full of cards. We're looking at 4 different stories. You can see I got it broken up into kind of like 4 different corners. That's the individual stories. We're going to start with our upper left and kind of move around. So here we go. Story 1, Saggies. This is largely for my Sagittariuses, starting with the Queen of Wands, who have been putting a lot of energy and effort into the work corner lately. A lot of time into work or projects or something like that. We have my Queen of Wands, which means like the nurturer. She's the motherly energy. So just like you mother a child, well, here you're mothering your job, your employment, your employees, if you're the boss or whatever it is, right? So if that sounds like you, this could very well be your story. Now, what they show next is my artist card here. It is my 3 of Pentacles. It is the card of mastery, putting things together in perfect order, and really being proud of it too. It's like, for example, if you were a Sagittarius who just doesn't care about your job, you're like, yeah, whatever, I just do that for a paycheck. This is not your story. This is for Sagittariuses who are very passionate about their work. And that's what they show you doing, continuing here in July, early July. Now, what they talk about next with my Page of Cups who's inverted is a message coming in later in July. This is not here early in July. I know that because my page is upside down. I also know that my page is not a person that we're talking about here because they didn't give me one behind it. So we are using the energetic definition of this Page of Cups, which basically means that message coming late July. So that is something probably related to the family because Cups is the family love corner. So a very important message about that. And that goes back to the Hangman card, which we have upside down and inverted. This is one of those cards that we do want inverted. We prefer it that way because this shows that the hanged stagnation, the things that have not been moving energetically, or the things that you've been waiting for or getting results on something or hearing back about something, well, this is going to start getting shaken loose later in July. That's the timing they gave us for that. Now, although things do get shaken loose, not necessarily the finances do alongside it. And here's why. I have my 5 of Pentacles next. That's the card that has the glare on it. It's a little hard to see because of the way that I had to take that shot. But that is the card of bankruptcy, loss, being abandoned, left out in the cold. So obviously this is an energy we want to avoid. So that's just Spirit's way of telling you here, the money might, even though we got the shakeup happening and things loosening up and breaking free, not necessarily the finances do. So you may want to consider keeping a close eye on those finances so that you don't end up doing what this card kind of talks about. This can also be a card about just being left out too, left out of a project or left out of something to do with work, since that is where we began. Or maybe something in here, it makes me feel like something needs a little bit of a woman's touch, perhaps. It's a very weird message to come in, but you can see behind there, I have a bunch of, it's like a pink curtain. That is my card. And it's basically the female energy that's back there, and it's the pink curtain, so they're just showing, that this just needs something soft in here, which makes me feel like the female touch, because masculine energy is usually more aggressive and tough and rough around the edges. Female energy is much softer, much more persuasive, and emotional too. So maybe there's something in there that is important for some of you there, or maybe just the color pink would give you an indicator of what to do with this situation here so that you don't end up. So basically we avoid this. That's one of the great things that tarot is great for. It's great for planning and preparation, and we have something here that we can see clearly that you do not want to go down that path, and because of that you can avoid it. So great job there. Let's move into story 2. Story 2, I'm going to jump to the right of that. We start off with my fastest card in the deck. This is my 8 of Wands, fast traveling news. Doesn't mean it's good or bad, it just means that it's quick. And on top of my next card, we have another quick card coming in there too. That one's a little bit slowed down. It's not as quick as the way we first came in. But my card in the middle of this group here, you can see the woman kind of pushing on the canoe here with a friend in the boat. This means travel. This can also mean going in a much smoother direction in life. It's a very good omen. That makes me feel like the fast traveling news is hopefully pleasant. There is some stuff to watch out here for, because what they showed underneath there, you can see the gold stack. That's all that glitters card, which means all that glitters is not gold. So some things may appear to be different than what they are in the month of July. It's just like people wearing a mask. That's why they have a mask pictured there. They look a certain way on the outside, but at the core, maybe they're rotten. Okay, it's just like, if you paint a banana gold, does it make it a piece of gold? No, it's still a banana underneath it, right? So that's kind of the idea here, is that something on the surface does not match necessarily the underlying truth to what it really is. And for a lot of you, this travel card could mean that you got travel in the books in July, or that you're taking a trip or something like that. And my Tower card that I have kind of tucked underneath there, inverted, shows that there is kind of a quick change to this happening very quickly, but not too quickly, because you can kind of see this coming a little bit. It almost makes me feel like when a flight is delayed, and it's just like, it doesn't mean the trip doesn't happen, but maybe it happens a few hours later, and it just causes some turbulence or problems with you waiting around, or maybe the connecting flight or something like that, with my Tower card coming in inverted, because it feels like it doesn't really mess everything up, but at the same time there is something that doesn't go according to plan here in story 2. The other thing we have here is my childhood nostalgia card coming in with my 6 of Cups. So this could just be the trip, going on a trip or something like that with kids, or kids going in the right direction in the month of July, putting a lot of energy into the kids and family. Also, nostalgia, which means that you may be doing something in July that really takes you back. Maybe some of you going back to your childhood home, or doing something that reminds you, like, hey, I just went into this bowling alley in this town, and man, it just reminds me of like what I used to go to, back in the 90s, back in 2000s, or whatever, right? So nostalgia, there is something to be remembered from the past here in story 2. Story 3, Saggies, we go to our bottom left. We got some good news coming in here. Man, let me tell you. We start off with the 9 of Cups. It's inverted. So this is a story for my Sagittariuses who have been down on their luck lately. Maybe had something that was unsuccessful, did not go the way they planned or the way they expected it to. Well, life does that to us sometimes. So here, it is an unaccomplishment. It's something that you did not accomplish. That's what they talk about connecting to. If that sounds like you, don't worry, because the card right next to it is my Wheel of Fortune card. Good luck. It's a card about, just things falling on your lap in weird ways. Things just finding their way to work out. Good luck. And we have Treasure Island right behind that. You can see my little sea turtle carrying the treasure chest on his back. This indicates just treasure and reward. And when we have that with good luck, who knows what that could be? You might want to at least play a scratch-off lottery ticket, Saggies. Maybe this turns into something good. Don't go crazy with it, but hey, when we got so much good energy coming around there, it's worth a couple bucks shot. The next thing I have in there is the need to be a little defensive. So it's a very interesting kind of shift in the wind here, because this is the card. You can see the woman's got kind of sticks all around her in a defensive posture. You could be being under attack about something here, or you may be dealing with people who don't see eye to eye with you, or are confrontational, or something like that in the month of July. So Spirit's just telling you, if this is your story, to just be a little bit guarded in the month of July. And that's mostly it. And also probably that your position is correct, because there's a reason to guard it. The next thing we have in here is very interesting, excuse me, because it's one of the best cards in the tarot deck, but we have it inverted. We have the 10 of Cups inverted here, so it's like the wonderful, joyous Disneyland family energy, But when it's coming in blocked, there's like something in the way of it. Something's getting in the way of that sunlight coming through and making that rainbow for you, Sagittarius. What is it? I don't know what it is, but something in there has got to go. Got to get out of the way, or at least maybe it's an internal thing too. Maybe it's, your own emotional baggage that you're carrying with you, that you're doubting yourself, or you're doubting this good luck that you just had, and you're like, oh well, how long is it gonna last? How long until the good luck turns into bad luck again? Well, that's not the really mentality that's gonna get you there. You know what I mean? So when we have this coming in, it's just saying, I think, to kind of go inside a little bit, be a little introspective on things, and think about why you're not a little happier than you are. And when you do a deep dive into that, I think you can find maybe a path to greater happiness. I think that's really what they're trying to push here. And you can see they ended up going with the storyline spread here for you guys, but it was very last minute, like I said, and they didn't even want to do it when I did it, like here up against the bell. So it was just like, well, I need to do something, or I'm just not, I can't do a Sagittarius. It's got to be done now or never. So it was just kind of, I think they went with the storyline so they could talk about any topic that they want, and that's kind of what we're looking at. We're kind of all over the place, and it's probably a really good time too for Sagittarius. Is if you got doubts about something, or you got a lot of different ways things could go, it is probably the greatest time for a personal private reading. Today we're reading for the Sagittarius bubble energy. I love you all, but when we have this many Sagittariuses in one place, it does murky the water a little bit here. If you're looking for messages that are personal, private, specific only to you, I offer a wide variety of those services on scottsagent.com, from small all the way up to full service, a little something for everybody there, depending on what you're looking for. And this is the best time of the year really to get one of those, because I'm doing a huge blowout sale for the first week of July, guys. It is 40% off of any service that I offer. Anything that your heart desires is 40% off this first week of July. All you need to do is enter promo code July40 at checkout, capital letters JULY 40. Enter that at checkout. It will lop off 40% right off your total, and you are good to go with your divination. So good time to get one of those, guys. I hope you don't miss that opportunity. As we get into story 4, the first thing we talk about here is lack of authority in your mind. If you are a Sagittarius who has been really kind of stressed out, really full of anxiety, really trying to figure out which way is up or what you should do about things, this could very well be your story. And they bring in next my home card. So especially if you're trying to figure out your living situation, where you're going to live, where you're going to move to, maybe you have a move coming up soon, or just some kind of dynamic within your household or your family. The dogs keep getting sick, or whatever it is. It could be a billion different things. Whatever it is for you here, they show my house card upside down. House and family is not the way we really want it to look. It's upside down, which means it's either blocked, there's something in the way of it being good, or it's just one of those off months with that. And that's probably why we started the card with the King of Swords inverted, which is kind of the unauthority with your mindset. And they did tell me with that King too that we're not talking about a man. So just to clarify that, we're talking about the energy of the card, which is authority. Lacking of authority, really needing the authority in your mind, guys. Be very firm about your decision making. You gotta plot a course here, I feel like, in story 4. A lot of my Saggies in story 4 are dealing with a form of heartbreak. This can also take the form of many different things, but it's the minor kind, or at least if it was major heartbreak, you're kind of over that part now. So that's good. It's good to see the worst is now behind you, and now you're kind of moving down the hill that way, in that direction, but it's still lingering. You still feel it very deeply. There's some kind of pain that you did not like with whatever this situation, whatever you're going through, talks about. Now, here we get into some good news with this story. We have the High Priestess card coming in. She is the keeper of all the knowledge. She is the keeper of wisdom, and by her being upright here, Spirit is showing you, Saggies, that it is wide open. All the information is available to you, so there's nothing you don't know. There's nothing you can't find out. There's nothing being kept or hidden from you, or secretive, or shady. You get the idea. All that stuff, you're seeing things very clearly. That's huge because it allows you to make the best decisions possible for you when you're seeing the board clearly, and they do show that you are. Now, they also show regeneration. That's kind of a little bit hard to see from the picture. I have it tucked under the High Priestess just to save some room. But that is the card about lava rolling in. It's kind of like my death card because it means almost the same thing. It's just a renewal, a transformation, transmutation. So it has a purpose. The lava comes in, it rolls over the land, kills everything, but now the ground is very fertile. It's wonderful for new growth. So that is what this knowledge is allowing you to do. It's allowing you to kind of start a new slate, start a new leaf. We also have in here kind of the last bit of information, or I would imagine that this is advice, really. They are telling my Saggies here in Story 4, you really need new ideas. You need to start thinking of new ways of thinking about things. This is my Ace of Swords, which is the light bulb effect and inspiration, and new ways of, it's new. It's the card of new. But in the mental sense, new ways of thinking. Because old ways of thinking are only going to bring you the old results. Of course, it looks like a lot of you don't really like the way that something here has resulted or played out. So because of that, we need some new ideas, Saggies, and that's what they're calling for you to do. Start thinking of new ways of doing things because that's the way you're going to get different results. Let's get into your runestone, guys. Your runestone is something that I did last month with the angel protection, but I'm not doing it this month. That was actually more by accident. I forgot to do it with your reading last month, and I didn't want you guys to go without, so I just kind of threw it in there, not to leave you hanging. But your runestone there next to the Sagittarius kind of sign, you can see it over there, it's an X. That means partnership. You guys got the runestone of partnership, Saggies, which means it is a great month to work with a group, work with other people. It is not the time for hermit mode and to go off on your own. It is the time for camaraderie, for social, all that kind of stuff with partnership. Very good, guys. Now, the moon cycles, I ask them directly now. I used to ask them not ask them, but I used to kind of look in the spread for clues to figure out, what's better for Saggies, to use the new moon or the full moon this month? Well, now I just ask Spirit directly. I go right to the source. Guess what they said for you guys? They said either one. So either one is very, very high aptitude, high possibility for you guys to use to implement positive change into your month. And I put those moon cycle cheat sheets out for you for free every single month. You can find that on my website, scottsagent.com, along with chemistry tracking. If you want to see what sign or signs Sagittarius is kicking well with in the month of July, and also what signs Sagittarius should avoid or be a little cautious about, all that is posted for free, guys, on my website, scottsagent.com. It is posted on my Talking About page. So that is it for today, guys. Hope you're doing excellent. Hope you can use this information to keep being excellent. Have an excellent July. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.